Hello, love to you and your loved ones. So, this is something very important. It's a very powerful paradigm shift for people's minds, a perspective that is very uncommon, I would think, which is that bad things in life and on your spiritual path could be a sign that you actually got to the next level in the game. And then people mistake that as backtracking or, um, they're doing something wrong, and then so they'll stop or stop doing, meditation practice, for instance, or they'll reject this bad thing in their life or feeling bad and, take it all wrong, and then it'll just mess everything up. So, for instance, in meditation, Daniel Ingram has a very modern, very cool book, Mastering the Core Teachings of the Buddha, which really just goes through the meditation stages on many different levels. But when he's talking about the Vipassana jhanas, the stages of insight meditation, there's there's a stage called the knowledges of suffering in Theravada, which he calls the dark night, or, short for dark night of the soul. Now, what's interesting about this is that once you get to a certain stage, there's a stage called arising and passing away. Once you get to that stage, and sometimes you can get to the stage without doing anything. So some people that just don't meditate at all or do any spiritual practices might get to this arising and passing away. Or people that meditate might get to that. Now, if you stop because, let's say, the arising and passing away is a little uncomfortable or whatever, because there is a little bit of discomfort, some physical pain and stuff like that in this stage, like in the back or whatever, you will inevitably still go to the next stage, which is unfortunate because the next stage is the dark night. And the dark night is just, inner turmoil. Some of the stages within the Dark Knight stage, collective stage was like first fear, misery, disgust, etc. So you can get an idea of what it's like. And when people are going through a really hard time in life, a lot of times it's just because they're going through this dark night phase of the psyche. Now, what's fascinating is that all people, whether you're Buddhist or you're an atheist, you will go through these stages step by step. It's a part of the human psyche. And so that's progress. When you go from arising and passing away, which also that early stage, like when you think of people that have great awakenings and like, I had this great Kundalini awakening and I feel wonderful and all this, that's I think that's part of the arising and passing away just before. And so that's the great feeling, and you feel like you're super spiritual and everything's great too. I mean, and then, strangely, the next stage is the dark night. So the best feeling stage is followed by the worst stage as far as feelings. You feel horrible. So you feel all good about life and everything's great. You feel like you're some spiritual master or something. And then the next stage is like, boom, a hard crash. The subsequent stages are more subtle, so they're not even that extreme. So it's really interesting. Life is not linear, even with the spiritual path. We think, oh, we feel good, we're doing well. Oh, we're doing well with meditation, we're doing better. Less thoughts, we're doing better. And it doesn't progress like that linearly. For instance, he says once you get to the dark night, you should go back to noting practices, which is it's like almost like a mindfulness practice, which seems very elementary, so you feel like you're backtracking. But life is not linear. Spiritual life definitely is not linear. So just keep that in mind. That's a huge paradigm shift for people. You know, we judge things because, oh, I don't feel good, so I must be doing something wrong. But actually, you not feeling good could be a sign that you got to the next level. You progressed. And here, let me give you another example for a life example. Recently, I made 3 songs in a professional studio, which I haven't done for like 25 years. You know, when I first was doing music, I did 1 song in a studio. And since then, I was just doing it on my own, you know, at home. And I made 3 songs that I really like. And I feel like I'm better, better an artist, better rapper, and I haven't even practiced. I think honestly, the meditation and stuff made me better without even practicing. But anyways, that's not the point here. Tooting my own horn. That's not the point here. The point is that the reason I have these 3 songs now was because something bad happened to me. Right before I was going to go back to LA a couple months ago, my computer broke. I've had this computer for, I don't know, 10 years. And I have a hard drive with maybe 20 years or more of stuff that I've done musically. And I was contemplating, you know what, I'm over using Pro Tools, maybe I'll use another program and just forget all that. So it's like throwing away 20 years of stuff I've done. And, you know, which it wasn't as big of a deal to me because I've been focusing more on inner growth and meditation than doing music and creative endeavors. But still, it was kind of like, oh, wow, you know. And so I had these instrumentals, so the musical files themselves I couldn't access. But I had all these random little instrumentals that I've had, just me testing, I mean, just so I could hear songs or hear music and make adjustments. They're called 2 tracks. So I'm listening, so I have all these sitting around, and I'm like, you know what, that would be such a waste of, you know, those 20 years, I don't do anything. So I took some of those, and I thought, I'll just make some music, and I had no way to do it. And then my friend was like, oh, I went to the studio, it costed this much, and it all came together. And I quickly did the songs in a matter of some weeks. And now here I am. I'm going to put that first one out on New Year's Eve. And yeah, all this because my computer broke. So here's something in my real life that in my material existence that happened because I made musical progress from my musical computer breaking. So there you go. And I wouldn't have done them in a studio, and it wouldn't have sounded as good because my vocals wouldn't have sounded as good if I just recorded them. So just keep that in mind. That's true with so many things. I kind of brought up the pain in my shoulder. You know, I feel like this pain in my shoulder is going to help me be aware of my posture more, and maybe it is because I've been improving my posture. It's putting more strain here, you know. Anyway, so just keep that in mind, you know. And this is not just, you know, inspirational BS, you know. Just keep in mind what I said about the meditation stages. You know, feeling bad is a sign that you got to the next level. Feeling good is the lower stage, you know. So, and you know, it moves on from there if you keep going. But then a lot of people stop there because they feel so bad, and then they get stuck there. Or they go back to the second one and then go back up to that feeling bad again. And it's like they're stuck going back and forth, taking a step back and going back into the dark night. Boom, 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 boom. And so, you know, that's really important if people are going through hard times, you know, inner conflicts and issues. It could be just because they're going through the dark night stage. And like I said, you don't have to be meditating to get there. So anyway, Daniel Ingram's book is very modern and um, really brings a lot of things together. And so if you're really interested in it, it's a pretty heavy book, like dense, but just the jhanics, Vipassana jhana part was really fascinating to me, and how this human psyche has a progressive, step-by-step path. Okay, see you later. Woohoo! See you later.